What's going on, people? I got a bunch of stuff here, got some unboxings and whatever to do, right? Because if you were watching along earlier today, you may have seen a couple old videos popping up, right? Because that's the thing that I've been dealing with, trying to go through the backlog, see what stuff I have that's like worth talking about, and get videos out about it. Some of it I had recorded many months ago. So, what is this? This Ninja Turtles thing? It's kind of in that same boat, right? Where like obviously it's new, right? These just came out. Ooh. I got this box like earlier, but no, it's Tuesday. I got this box last week, I guess. So it's kind of one of those newer things, right? But I need to see what if I think that these are worth actually talking about. I totally did not cut any of that box. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I figure I got some free time over the next handful of days because like holiday things are going on. So I'm gonna open up a bunch of stuff, see what I feel like doing with any of it because I still have those Mezco Ninja Turtles over there, so those will be ahead of this. But these big cardboard boxes, they take up a lot of space, man. So I'm trying to get these dealt with more sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? So this is oh, so well, I guess this is. At first, I was thinking like something was a little weird about the way they did the packaging here, but it actually makes a lot of sense. So I guess we'll see what this first one is and go from there. So there you go. This is going, and you're basically just going to see this three more times, right? So this is going to be from mondoshop.com, right? This is going to be it's like a soft vinyl Ninja Turtles figure from like the Mirage type era or whatever. So I think they're all going to look like this, just different accessories, right? Bring that in a little closer for you. Do this one time so I don't have to do it each time. You know what I'm saying? These actually look really good. This is my first time seeing these in person. So it's kind of like I thought it was going to be gray. It's more of like it's like a light white or like a slightly tinted white, like very, very light gray. So there you go. There's that. Oh, actually, I'm looking around at the back. You got a lot of stuff going on. I think they sold a poster of this, right? So this one right here, looking at these, this might make the cut as far as things to give like an actual video too. It's always kind of nice to do that. They are a little thicker too, right? And you could probably tell just by the scaling and all that stuff. So it's a pretty good size. I got no complaints about these. I think they came out pretty nicely. If I could remember how much these cost, I would tell you, but I honestly don't know, right? I don't know. I can't even begin to guess, right? I'll look it up in a second off their webpage, but for now I'm just going to move on to the next one. So that one was Donatello, and this next one will be someone else, right? If you want to make a guess, you got a 1 in 3 chance of being right, I suppose. And if you guessed Raphael, then you were right. If you didn't, well, just pretend you did and tell yourself you were right. So there's that, right? Same thing as you saw before, just gonna have like different weapons over there. So pretty cool. Keep this thing moving along. But yeah, I wasn't really sure if I wanted these or not because I'm like, do I really need some big old Ninja Turtles figures that I really don't even have space for, right? Display space, I mean, there's only so much stuff I can put out at one time. So I said it a while ago, a lot of those AEW figures are probably going to have to go into a box. And then we have Michelangelo. And these nunchucks here, I'm not sure what kind of material that is, but it's hopefully going to be something that can bend because otherwise it's just not going to make sense, right? And I'm sure it is. It might be like the Super 7 figures where it was just a little bit stiffer than you might want it to be, but I'll get that figured out later. But yeah, and I don't know if I feel like they did all have something different. So yeah, it's got like a slightly different look on his face. Got his tongue kind of sticking out there. I mean, it's like he's really just biting down on it. So I don't know. That seems like very painful to me. But there you go. There's Michelangelo, which means you should be able to guess pretty easily who the last one is going to be. And there's also some other thing in there, so I'll see what that is in a second. So, and then I'll real quick look up the price of this thing because, I mean, I'm kind of curious, honestly. Like that's the only real reason I want to look it up because I mean, I feel like it was like maybe like a couple hundred for all of them. Maybe like 300 to 400. So there you go. There's Leonardo. He's got the swords and everything. You know, it's kind of got like the half and half as far as like the face goes, right? So I'm not even really sure how to describe that. But there you go. There's that. So set this one over here as well. So that's going to be all four of those. And then the last thing in here is some cardboard backing thing that is just in here. I'm not sure what the significance is of this. I honestly just have no idea, but it's there. It looks like the standard back that you had on everything else, but maybe they just gave you an extra one just so you could have as like a display piece. Because this one obviously won't have like all the messed up pieces from where you take like the adhesive off of like of the bubbles, right? So I don't know. I guess it's just like a little backdrop to have behind those if you stand them out. So I'll set that here and one thing down. All right, good, good. Real quick, let me double check over there on the Mondo site, see what's going on with those figures. Let's see. And you can't see this. So, okay, so it's $320 for the whole set, right? Because they did have other versions of those, which were just like the standard green, and you could buy those individually. I don't know if those are all out yet or if they are still on pre-order status. But if you want those, like the black and gray ones, then just head on over to mondoshop.com, give them $320 minus, they're doing some kind of sale right now where like if you, I should just close the thing. If you go in there and you buy more than a certain amount or whatever, they will give you some amount of dollars off. So since those are $300, you would get $50 off. It's an automatic coupon, so $50 off of $320 is what, $270? So that's actually not too bad, really. So there you go, $270 if you buy them right now, $320 if you wait till after the holidays are over. Personal opinion, so far, I think they're actually like really cool. I was very much on the fence about the whole soft vinyl and all that nonsense, right? But looking at these, yeah, I could see that, right? This is a box that came from Amazon, right? Yeah, an Amazon box. So on one side, you got the wrestling logo. On the other side, you have Ultimate Edition, because this is going to be an Ultimate Edition, right? Let's go ahead, cut on into this, see what's going on. And I keep forgetting to do it, but I have a whole bunch of Ultimate Edition figures that I need to get opened up, right? Because I plan to put those, right now I have them on that shelf by that CM Punk poster. I say that like you know what I'm talking about because maybe some of you who are watching this have seen the videos where I'm standing in front of that CM Punk poster. So a lot of them are over there. Actually, all of them are over there, all the ones that are open, which is a lot of them, honestly. The vast majority. But there are a few that were purchased after that, and so I need to get them out there too. So here you go. There's this, right? Bring that in a little bit. It's going to be the Greatest Grudges 1992. So you got Papa Shango and Ultimate Warrior, The Curse of Papa Shango. Turn that around. So there you go. In case you don't remember what exactly the guy looked like, that's what he looked like. Top hat, painted face, bones around his neck, and going against the Ultimate Warrior, right? And then there's some words down in there. Not sure what that says because I didn't really read it. I'm more concerned about getting this box open so I can see what these things are looking like, right? So, as they often are, you look in there, it's just going to be a box of 2 individual figures, which means that you'll probably see these for sale individually on Ringside Collectibles, because the Undertaker and Gobbledygooker from the Survivor Series set, that's how that was. They came out as a 2-pack initially, but then later you could buy them individually if you wanted to. So this one is going to be Papa Shango, as you can tell by him being Papa Shango, and he's got like the black suit. Well, not suit thing, but you know what I'm talking about. Got the skull down there, some hands, the hats. Oh, there it is. The hat's up over there, right? This one is pretty all right, you know. It's not one that I had been like hoping for years or anything, but it's one that when I saw that they were making it, I thought, okay, whenever this comes out, I'm buying that one, and I did, and now here it is, right? It just took forever for them to actually ship it because it was a pre-order. So if you put all this stuff on him, he's actually going to look pretty all right. So there's that for you. Okay, set this over here. Move on to the Ultimate Warrior. So here, is that just a jacket? Yeah, it looks like he's just got like a jacket on over there. Sometimes he has like the dusters, like a little half cape sort of thing. It's like sleeveless, whatever. And then as far as like the faces go, kind of like the standard stuff you might expect. The yelling face, the other yelling face, and then like the, I don't know, whatever you call that one. Otherwise, everything's looking pretty plain. I have a handful of these Ultimate Warrior figures, other Ultimate Editions, that is. And I think the other ones probably look better. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say the other ones look better. I don't have all of them because I try to be a little selective. And I told myself, like, if I buy all of these as they're coming out, I'm going to get stuck into this whole completionist thing, right? And I don't want to do that. So I kind of intentionally didn't buy some of them for that reason, right? Because if I start looking around and I'm like, well, like, I have all 49, maybe should just get the 50th one. Even, who cares? Like, if I don't want a Nia Jax figure, right? Next thing you know, I'm buying Nia Jax figures. I don't want a Nia Jax figure. All right. All right, we'll do the shirts last here. Let's do the Big Bad Toy Store pile of loot next. So that's going to be this guy right here. That's going to be this guy right here, right? So there you go. There's that big old box. So I've kind of described this a little bit before, but I'm going to do it again because, it makes sense, I guess. Big Bad Toy Store, right? If you go on there and you buy stuff, whether it's pre-orders or whether it's in stock already, you have the option to have it shipped to you whenever it comes out or immediately if it's already out, or you can put it to the side in a pile of loot, right? So the way that works is they have all the stuff you order and they just sit it aside for you. So you have 90 days from the time it comes in stock to ship it, right? So if you buy something in January, you have to have it shipped by the end of March. But if it's a pre-order, then it doesn't start until the pre-order actually arrives. They'll send you a little notice ahead of time saying, hey, you ordered this thing, we should have it in the warehouse soon. So get ready to be charged, blah, blah, blah. And then your timer will start whenever they actually get it. So you go on there, you can pick and choose to say, oh, well, send these 5 things and send this other thing, send all of it, send one of it, whatever you do. Every time you have something sent to you, it's going to be a flat $4 for shipping. So I put a bunch of stuff in there, and then I just get it all sent at the one time for the most part, which saves on shipping, and I can just get like one big box instead of like a bunch of random crap coming like every other day, right? So that's where we are. All right, let's go ahead, open this thing up real quick, see what's the haps. All right, cut that thing. There we go. All right. So, all right, yeah, I actually needed to open this because now that I'm looking in here, we'll start with this since it's on top. This Quicksilver figure, well, it's not really a figure, it's an Iron Studios 1/10 scale statue. I just put up a review today, like a couple hours ago, talking about this Mr. Sinister statue, right? And if you listen to the end, because it's fresh in my head because I just did all the editing, I was talking about how I wanted to get this Quicksilver statue, and I was seeing if there's going to be a sale. There's no sale. I ended up getting the last one that was in stock, so it is what it is. Well, there wasn't a deeper sale. It was only like 116. Normally it would be like, say, 200, right? So not bad, but not amazing either. So if I had waited, though, I could have bought it from Sideshow today, and it would have been like 90-ish, maybe. Either way, I was talking about how I wanted to get this and blah, blah, blah. And now I have it, so I might have to go back, not edit the video because the video's already out, but go out there, put like a little card in there to like reference this video to say, hey, I did get that Quicksilver. And so the reason I'm doing this is so I can figure out, do I want to make a little video about it or not? And if I do, how am I going to do that? Likely not the same way as I did the Sinister one or the Cyclops one. It'll probably be like the Ninja Turtles one, the Iron Studios, where I just kind of have it out there, just get some pictures and whatnot after putting them all together. Either way, Quicksilver, right? So that's what he looks like for the most part. I feel like I'm going to like this figure a lot, but if you want to see the actual deal, that's kind of what it looks like, right? He's running, he's got like smoke and stuff kind of coming off the ground or whatever that is happening. So I do have a handful of Iron Studio statues. Let's see, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? 10, 11 if you include this one. So it's a thing that I'm into, right? A lot of them can be a little pricey. Actually, 12 if you count the Sauron that's on its way. So a lot of them can be a little bit pricey, right? And I don't think that they're all worth it at the premium price, to be completely honest. But a lot of them do go on sale, and that's kind of like the time to strike. The the Ninja Turtles ones, those were worth the full price. Those were deluxe ones, same as the Cyclops. Those were deluxe figures. So they have like some extra presentation stuff going on, like better materials, the whole nine. The other ones like Havoc and Magik and whatever, while cool, they're not like give me a $200 retail figure cool, right? I don't think so. Same with the Quicksilver. Big fan of the guy, but not at the regular price. So that's just my take on it, though. If you got like money to spare, then hey, do whatever you do. So this right here is going to be a standard Marvel Legends figure. As you see there, it's going to be the Dark Phoenix. Turn that around so you can get an idea of what's going on with it. There are statues out there. There's an Iron Studio statue out there like this, actually. Or is it Sideshow? I think it's Iron Studios. Either way, they have this. That's going to be like the whole display stand, right? So you got Jean, well, the Phoenix and Phoenix behind her, whatever. So it's going to make for a pretty cool display, in my opinion. I know a coworker was also looking at getting this. I think he did. And looking at the face in here and everything, yeah, this looks, to me at least, this looks really good. Now, this is another thing where they make these in mass amounts, right? It's Marvel Legends, comes straight from Hasbro, right? They make a lot of these. You buy it early, yeah, you're going to spend like $50 on it. If you give it some time and wait it out, you'll see the discounts, because this is going to be on Big Bad Toy Store. That's where I got it, obviously. Hasbro, Amazon, Entertainment Earth, a lot of places, right? You'll see it at probably Target, likely, possibly also Walmart, but you'll see it in all kinds of places, right? That's the short version of that. So do you need to spend a whole bunch of money right now? No, you don't. It's not necessary. But in my opinion, for that one, it looks pretty cool, so I'd keep my eyes on it if that's the thing you might be into. Moving along, back to the Ninja Turtles world. So Usagi Yojimbo, this time he's going around doing space stuff, right? So you kind of see some of that down there, but let's give it a backside view. There you go. See, now he's got like the whole, what do you call it, the spacesuit thing and all this. Got his little ray gun, I assume is what that is. Now, and it says down there, Space Adventure Usagi, right? Now, I don't know what the story is behind this because I haven't read Where When. I think I own that paper book version. Very sure that I do. So maybe that's something I'll do. I got all this holiday time, you know what I'm saying? Got to do something with it. So maybe I'll get that read. But either way, I think there's one more of this set that I need to pick up. So I have that in my pile of loot. It's on pre-order right now. So I'll get that whenever they want me to have it, I guess. SH Figuarts. I don't buy a whole lot from these guys. A lot of their stuff is expensive, and I just don't want to pay it for it. But it's pretty solid. Like they give you all these extra parts. The articulation is really good, right? So this is going to be Spider Punk. Big fan of him. You can't quite see the other face over here because it's behind the lettering and all that. But if you saw the movie or just kind of know of the figure, then you already know what to expect. So that's what he would look like if it wasn't all covered up. And that's the rest of it. As a person that does play an instrument or whatever, like I see this and like you kind of, you know how people always talk about like you let people want to see stuff in movies that they can relate to, you know, that's why like they make like diversity changes or whatever. I don't really cared a whole lot for that. Like I don't look at a movie and think like, oh, is there going to be a black guy in it? It doesn't mean anything to me. But when I see people playing instruments and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, right? Because it's a thing that like I find interesting. So that I do like seeing, and that does kind of make me like care to watch sometimes. And so that made him one of my more liked figures. There is it's a Hot Toys figure or statue, whatever you want to call it, that I do want, but this will likely be what I have to settle for. Not a big deal. It's smaller. It's easier to display. So, and it's actually looking really good. So looking in here, like got the nice little jacket on there, all the extra hands. You can't really see it, but the hands go all the way down into here. There's probably some other accessories on the other side. But I will say, if you're looking at like various figures, SH Figuarts, as it is right there, They make a lot of cool stuff. I mean, especially if you're into like anime type things. I'm not. It's just not my thing, right? But if you are, they do a lot of stuff in that world. So go check it out, man. Basic Seth Rollins. I do not buy very many basic WWE figures. The last one I got was that clear John Cena that looks kind of nasty in a way. And before that, oh, it's probably been since I bought like some of those tag teams that are behind this laptop. But either way, I saw this. He had the suit on and it just looked kind of cool, you know. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that one. So that's kind of like the close up. Check that out. Back when Shelton Benjamin was still around. So this is kind of an older one, and is Indy Hartwell's first time in the line. So that, yeah, this has to be like an older release for sure. Because Becky Lynch has like the man's man thing, or whatever that was saying back then. So I'm curious, like when did this one come out? But I don't see any dates on 2022. The wrestling world moves like super fast, you know? All right, one last thing. So they do have a little holiday sticker in here, Big Bad Toy Store, right? BBTS. So I give them money on a regular basis. And last, certainly not least, because this is definitely one of my favorite figures, one of my favorite characters in general. I have a poster in there. I got a Iron Studios thing over there. And I got this figure right here. So this is going to be Magik, right? Marvel's Magik. There you go. It's a newer one that came out. She did have one a while ago, but that was before my time. And sometimes things get a little pricey in the aftermarket world. Not everything, but every now and then there's like that one thing that just kind of is more than I want to pay. So I figured this will be fine, right? So there you go. I don't know what that little, not gremlin, what that little dragon thing is with her. I've seen it, but I can't think of the name of it. And she's got the sword and all that stuff. So that's just kind of like the drawing of artwork on the back. But this one, I saw it and I bought this on site. As soon as the pre-orders went open, right into the cart, right? And then of course, like once it like arrived in my pre-order or in my pile of loot, I still let it sit there for like a month or something. But now looking at it, this is one that I'm into. It's not a build-a-figure or anything, so that's why you don't see any of the other stuff on the back. But looking at this one all together here, definitely pretty nice. And she does have a solo comic that starts next month, I believe. So I don't know if it's going to be a full story like forever type of thing, or if it's just going to be like a short thing like the Dazzler series. I'm thinking it's going to be more the latter. So either way, if you're into Magik, this girl here, go ahead, hit your comic book stores up on, I don't know, I think like the first or second Wednesday of January. I think that's when that one's supposed to be coming around. And maybe you'll be seeing some of that, right? Go get yourself some of those cool variant covers before all the other people start to catch on. Or head on over to Unknown Comics. They have a bunch of them, right? All right, thought I was done. Realized I'm not. Got some shirts to open up real quick. As far as comic books go, though, I often bring those out. And I do have a comic book over there, but it's a Dazzler comic. And farther over there, I have a Dazzler statue that I just got in from from Sideshow, excuse me. So I'm gonna do that all together. Okay, I open this bag upside down and then everything just poured out the bottom. All right, so what is this here? This isn't looking familiar. Oh, okay, yeah, now I get it. So we got a couple shirts here. These first two are going to be wrestling related. So I saw this, the Kabuki Warriors, right? There we go. There we go. Now it's all on the shot. So got Kairi Sane and Asuka. This shirt here just looks freaking awesome to me, right? It's got a little back print as well. All right, Kabuki Warriors. So I saw this one, and I have that one from a couple years ago when they first started or whatever. I feel like I wore that in, what video was that? I'm trying to remember. It could have been like a Jordan 5 video or something, but I wore that at some point, and I really like it. I pull it out every so often. I have a lot of shirts, so when I say every so often, I mean like every several months. Probably even less than that. So moving along, we have this here. It's going to be like the retro CM Punk release. On the sleeve, on the other sleeve, you have the Nexus in, right? And then on the back end, you got this older CM Punk logo that they were using. I don't remember all that stuff, but I saw this and I thought that's something that I want to have. Big fan of the black and the yellow, just in general. Big fan of CM Punk, so it all kind of just worked out pretty well to me. So now, let's see what's going on with this one. See what's going on in here. This is, okay. So, some of you might be familiar with Mandelbaum's gym. It's go time, right? Pump it. So, this one, I had some like bonus dollars or whatever you call it in like the shop app cash thing. Because a lot of stuff you check out through shop app, right? So, like, I had all this money in there and like, hey, $20 or $30 is going to expire soon. I'm like, well, I guess I'll buy something. So, it's on 80s tees, and because I buy a lot of random t-shirts, and I saw this one. I'm like, yep, we're doing that. It's a Seinfeld shirt, for those of you who don't know, right? Kind of, I don't know. To me, it seems like it might be one of those deep cuts or whatever, because I think everybody talks about like the Soup Nazi and Mindy's and, you know, the little kicks, right? But I don't know if people really talk about Mandelbaum's gym, you know? So that one I wanted to have because why not? And this next one is also going to be from that universe, right? So from the Seinfeld universe, that is. And this is about the Human Fund, right? So I don't remember a whole lot about that episode. I mean, it might have been along the lines with the Festivus episode, maybe. I honestly can't recall. But either way, so there's that, right? So if you're a Seinfeld person, maybe that is somewhat amusing to you. If you're not, it's just like, get this trash off my screen, right? I get it. Because when I see stuff that I don't get, that's how I feel. I'm like, I don't want to see this anymore. Like, talk about something that I want to hear about. So that's why we're moving on. Is this next thing going to be something you want to hear about? I don't know. 50-50 chance. You either will or you won't like it, right? But let's find out here. As soon as I get this bag open, can you feel the suspense building? I can't. Not even a little bit. There is that. Oh, yeah, I remember this now. So this is going to be a Godzilla shirt, right? Because see how it says Godzilla? That's how you know. And down in there, you got Godzilla and Ultraman, I guess, and some other people that I don't really know. And then on the back, it's done up like a tour shirt. I'm a big fan of tour shirts, you know. So I saw this and was like, well, I'm getting that. Kind of like those Gem and the Holograms or the Misfit shirts that I got, also tour shirt style. So these are just like the different movies that he's had up until 2024 anyway. Because I guess there weren't any Godzilla movies this year, were there? So there you go. There's that. Seemed like a cool one to have, so I picked it up. It was a pre-order. It might have been limited also. I'm not really sure. I got it from Godzilla.com. The wrestling shirts came from Fanatics. I didn't mention that. But also on Fanatics, you'll see a lot of like, you know, sports things or whatever. But for whatever reason, the WWE people sell a lot of their stuff through there. So if you're going to buy a shirt, if you see like a wrestling shirt that you like, WWE style anyways, check both sites, right? And go through the checkout process with both just to see, because sometimes like one will end up being cheaper or more cheaper than the other or more expensive, right? And because like they do different methods for shipping for one, and sometimes one will have sales that the one site will have sales that the other site doesn't have. So if you're online and you're looking at like a new CM Punk or Seth Rollins shirt or John Cena shirt, whatever, check both sites because one of them is going to be cheaper. I don't think I've ever seen both things come out to the exact same price. So just a little tip for you if you're trying to save some money. But again, if you got money to spare, hey, do whatever. So there we go. There's everything. I'm not doing a recap because that would just take forever. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever's wherever you are. I'm going to clean up this mess so that I can go and eat dinner over there. So yeah, that's what I'm doing next. Later, people. Find this exit button real quick. But appreciate you guys stopping in, you know, while you're waiting to do Christmas things in a handful of hours. Some people do that at midnight, I guess. It's like 5 p.m. Virginia time. So whatever you had going on and you decided to step away and do this, I'm talking like to the people who were here live, thanks. But again, there are better things to do, so go do those better things. Later, people.